All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Gonsalves. I'm one of the principals of AccrueMe, and we're going to be talking, first of all, just a little bit about my background, ex-military, spent a lot of time building different businesses, met my business partners, started getting involved in the online space a number of years ago, and I don't think I need this. And we came up with a great concept and saw a niche. So, and that niche was helping building Amazon business owners who want to grow and scale their business. All right. So yes, I know you can't see my screen because I haven't shared it yet. Yes, I am going to turn it on now. Turning my screen on now. All right. So hold on here. Let me get my screen on and let's jump into it.
You're in there now.
Okay,
Go for it, Mark.
You can see it now, right?
Yep. Go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. So, Einstein mindset: how to achieve Einstein returns as a third-party seller. So, I always start my conversation with a question: do you have an Einstein mindset? Now, most of you would laugh and answer, Mark, what the heck is an Einstein mindset? Well, that's a great question. And it's a great segue to our conversation today. And we will discuss what an Einstein mindset is and the advantages of having an Einstein mindset, how it can benefit both your Amazon business and your life. So, most of us recognize the guy on the screen, Albert Einstein. He was wicked smart, right? And his legacy and notoriety, it's been associated with mathematics, physics, atomic energy. He was born in 1879. He died April 18th, 1955. He was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize. His IQ, check this out, his IQ was recorded at 160. And to set that in perspective, people that score over 135, they're in the 99th percentile. So here's a snapshot. Of some familiar faces who scored an IQ above 140. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, our own Jeff Bezos, Marilyn Vos Savant, Sharon Stone, the actress Mary Curie, Lisa Kudrow, and Steve Jobs. It's safe to say that Einstein had a brilliant mind, and he tapped his potential on a completely different level than most of us. And hey, Maximus, if you could get my face down to the bottom right-hand corner, I'd appreciate it, so I won't cover up a lot of the slides, and you can run that for me. I appreciate it. Thanks. So, when it comes to Einstein, his intellectual achievements and originality, they've made the word Einstein synonymous with genius. Einstein was able to literally disrupt long-held beliefs about science, quantum theory, and energy. So in the chat right now, I want you to feel free to write in and answer the following question in the chat. Are you a linear thinker or are you a non-linear thinker? And this isn't a trick question, all right? There's no right or wrong answer. So in the chat, go ahead and write down, do you think you're a linear or non-linear thinker? Now, there's a 30-second delay. And while you're writing that in the chat, I'm going to go into the chat here in just a minute. Linear thinking, for those of you that don't know, it's a way of thinking in which we consider an idea from a process to begin from a point, follow a series of connected points, and end at a point, right? It's thinking whatever starts must end. And it's not going to continue after that. It's a school of thought in which we look at things as having a sequence, right? So linear thinking is also called sequential thinking. Linear thinkers solve problems of daily life by taking information from a situation, applying that information to another situation. Linear thinkers find consistency, a rule, a formula, a pattern, in matters concerning life so that they can apply it in other situations in life. They can even make predictions, right? In linear thinking, we consider one thing leads to another in a step-by-step fashion. Linear thinkers, well, they tend to be good at math, science, technical subjects. And as the name suggests, non-linear thinking is not thinking along a straight line or in a sequential manner. In non-linear thinking, we make connections among unrelated concepts or ideas. We draw conclusions from examples coming from fields or background. Non-linear thinkers tend to be more abstract in their thinking. They tend to be good artists. In non-linear thinking, we play with our imagination and we come out with creative ways to solve our problems or understand or represent something. So some of you might be wondering, is this the same as left brain or right brain, or left brain versus right brain? And it is, okay, it is. Another word for nonlinear is divergent. Divergent. So for all you divergent thinkers, you nonlinear, abstract, creative types out there, you know, that have been talking to all your invisible friends during quarantine, you're going to be okay. We love you. I'm just joking, folks. Some of you will get my humor by the time I'm done, okay? So let me check the chat room and get a tally of your responses, all right? So let me go back here. Let's see. And it says, wow, whoa, you guys are active. All right. So we've got Jawad, nonlinear, Eric, nonlinear, linear, nonlinear, linear, Stephen, nonlinear, Brian, nonlinear, Amanda, linear, Tammy, linear, Patricia, nonlinear, Mariana, linear, Omar, linear, Salma, nonlinear, Lindsay, LOL. What does that mean, Lindsay? What are you talking about? This is serious stuff here. We're talking about Einstein, right? So, you guys are cracking me up. So, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer. What we're going to do in our short time together is we're going to consider adopting and applying some of Einstein's principles in the way he might approach selling on Amazon. Imagine that. Using an Einstein mindset to build an Amazon business. That sounds like a plan. So as Einstein said, and I quote, the world as we know it, all right, the world as we have created it is a process. I'm losing my mind here. Is the world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. So the way I read this, nothing in the world changes by chance. It only changes by choice. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Jim Rohn. He was a mentor to Tony Robbins. He was not related to Einstein, but support his topic on changing our thinking. Jim used to say, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. And when you grow, everything in your life grows with you. Seriously, though, most of us don't tap into our Einstein mindset, meaning we think and we evaluate everything on what we call a surface level, right? In other words, we try to explain and respond to our environment and what is familiar, attempt to connect the dots. You know, 1 + 1 = 2, right? These questions are going to get harder, folks. As such, we think in local and linear fashion. Simply stated, most of us are linear thinkers. So let's have some fun and let's learn a way to help build and scale our Amazon business with some help from Einstein. So I want you to choose only one option, I'm going to give you two options. You're only going to choose one. Option number one, I'm going to give you $33,334 each day, every day for the next 30 days. Okay? Or option number two. Option number two is I give you a penny on the first day, 2 cents on the second day, 4 cents on the third day, 8 cents on the fourth day, and so forth and so on for 30 days. And we're going to double a penny for 30 days. So first one, that option, 33,334 a day. Second option, double a penny every day. So go ahead and choose. Now, I know some of you divergent thinkers are going to get this right. And no, you don't need a calculator, right? Write in the chat room, number one or number two. I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute because I realize we get a little bit of a pause here. Okay. So you have, you basically got 30 seconds and write down option one, or option two. Wow. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing that I'm looking in the chat room, and definitely a lot more option twos than I would have guessed. But that's because you've done this exercise before. That's because you've read it in some type of Trivia Pursuit game or, some television show, correct? Because if you're answering option two, by the way, let's evaluate. Let's take a look at it. So option one, obviously, option one will net you over $1 million, right? 33,334 a day. Pretty easy to predict. It's also the definition of linear. Are you following me? Linear. Option number two, where we're doubling, we're growing exponentially. It goes from deceptive to disruptive, right? Because the first 5 days, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 cents nets you 31 cents, right? Deceptively disappointing. But by 10, you have a measly $5.12. At the halfway mark on day 15, you have a whopping $163.84. But look at this. By day 23, your penny doubling has surpassed your daily on option one. So after 30 doublings, the situation gets what I call disruptive. We've increased the payout 1 billion fold. 1 billion fold. So if you chose option two, you're right. You would end up with a payout of $10,737,418.24. After doubling your $5,368,709.12 on day 30, that's the promise and power of exponential growth. That's, folks, what can happen when you have an Einstein mindset. You see, one of the biggest challenges as entrepreneurs we have is we got to train our brains to think differently, right? To expand what's possible, to think exponentially or adopt an Einstein mindset. And this is not easy to do. However, it's necessary if we want to accomplish big and bold things in our Amazon business. If we want to empower ourselves with the thinking necessary to outperform our competition in business, we need to adopt an Einstein mindset. So what are the benefits of an Einstein mindset? how do you develop one? And how does it apply to the world of selling on Amazon? Last time I checked, they weren't offering this course in my college. So let's break this down. Why is an Einstein mindset relative? No pun intended, right? Relativity. You'll get that joke later. You may be asking, why is it important to adopt an Einstein mindset? Well, frankly, this is a question only you can answer. One fact to consider is the skill set information, the knowledge you have right now at present will never get you to where you want to be. In order to get there, you will need to learn and adopt different skills, tools, and a mindset. So let me ask you a question. Do you know more about selling on Amazon today in 2021 than you knew when you started 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 4 years ago? Do you think selling on Amazon will shift strategies, change rules, pivot in the next 36 months?
This content is brought to you by AccrueMe, the business-friendly funding solution for Amazon sellers. If you are a profitable Amazon seller looking for capital to grow your profits, click the link around this video or visit AccrueMe.com for a no-risk funding estimate in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think they will. I know they will. So, as Einstein himself was quoted saying, problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created them. Problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created them. En beneficio de mis amigos de algo más, como el mismo Einstein fue citado diciendo, los problemas no se pueden resolver con la misma mentalidad que los creo. And that's the best Spanish I can do because I was born Portuguese. Eu falo português. Here's the bottom line. Selling on Amazon with an Einstein mindset, it requires implementing just 5 principles. If you have something to take notes, I encourage you to go ahead and grab a pen and a piece of paper or your notebook or however you do that. Because these 5 principles, they are all within our reach. They're all within our reach. And the question is, what sellers will choose to do? Are you going to choose to change or complain? A better question is, what would Einstein do? What would Einstein do? So, principle number one, you have to really believe and allow yourself to dream. You see, having an Einstein mindset, selling on Amazon, means unleashing your imagination on what is possible. Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to what we know and understand, while imagination embraces the whole world and all there ever will be to understand. Call me crazy, folks, but when I read that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You see, in order to embody an Einstein mindset, principle number 1, believe and dream, it translates that anything is possible, and we need to open ourselves up to dreaming big. Now listen, it's safe to say that it's easy for most kids under the age of 5. But as we mature into crusty adults, our imagination tends to get a little jaded. You know what I mean? allow me to drop two more pearls of wisdom from Albert before the second principle. His famous quote on imagination stated, "Imagination is everything. It's the preview of life's coming attractions." So I'm curious as to what you imagine your Amazon business to be, or what you would like it to look like in 2021 and beyond. You know, when a journalist asked if he believed in miracles, he was quoted by saying, "Do you believe in miracles? Well, you should, because life itself is a big miracle. There are so many things that are beyond our understanding. There are two ways to live your life," Einstein said. You can live as if nothing's a miracle, and the other as if everything is a miracle. So how do we implement principle number one into action? It's simple. You embrace that Amazon is ultimately disrupting the brick and mortar retail model. We already know this to be true. You need to seek and maximize your opportunity as a third-party seller. More profitable products, more suppliers. You understand and you live by the mantra, buy low, sell high. The more you make, the more you make. The more products you can sell, the more quickly you can turn inventory, the more money, aka profit, you can generate. You believe no matter what, you will succeed. You give yourself permission to dream like a 5-year-old, and you remind yourself that there are several dozen billion and trillion dollar enterprises that started in a garage. Your imagination has no boundaries. That's how you do it. Principle number 2 is exponential growth. That's right, exponential growth. You see, to apply an Einstein mindset to your Amazon business, it's all about exponential growth, meaning you not only embrace and understand, you welcome the power of exponential growth. Our brains are linear, but you understand the power of exponential doublings. Remember the penny doubling example? Here's what it translates to. It translates to taking your business revenue and doubling it over and over again, month after month, from 10,000 to 20,000 to 40,000 to 80 to 160 and beyond. It's absolutely possible to experience this exponential growth. And here's the catch. Here's the catch. You're going to need to change what and how you operate. You probably have heard this saying before. I apologize for repeating it, okay? If you keep doing the same things over and over again and expect a different result, that's insane, right? So Einstein said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So for all of you that got option 2 right on the earlier example, are you using that in your Amazon business today? Because if you're not, well, we'll get to that in just a minute. So if there was a way for you as an Amazon seller to exponentially double your business revenue month after month, continuing to profit and grow and scale your Amazon business without draining your existing cash flow, or God forbid, going into debt. Nobody wants to do that. How many people would be interested in a solution? Now, here's what I want you to do. I only want you to do this if you really believe. You got to believe. If you had access to a program that allowed you to essentially double your capital every month in your business without incurring a monthly payment or paying an interest rate, go and hit in the chat box now with a love it. Give me a heart. Give me a love it so I know you're tracking. If you could get access to a program like that that would allow you that principle number 2, exponential compounding in your business without a monthly payment, without interest, and without going into debt, all right? Give me a love it, all right? So let's go ahead and see if we're tracking. Oh, yeah. Lindsay loves it. Leela loves it. Angie loves it. Angie loves it. Aline loves it. Clifton loves it. Oh, yeah. Rachel, I'm loving it. You got 167 of you on. Come on now. Of course. Love it. Yup. Love it. I love the hearts. Give me the hearts. Give me the love. Show me the love. Show me the love. All right. Is this an infomercial? Robin, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you. Yes, there's a lot of information, and I'm going to give you a commercial. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So let's see here. Move along. Compound interest. So principle number three. You got to be able to maximize your ROI and your inventory turn. You understand that principle number 3. You understand that maximizing return on inventory investment and inventory turn, it's a proven roadmap to success, right? And all roads lead to having more capital to grow and scale. Listen, we respect that it takes money, aka capital, to grow and scale your business. You have to appreciate that the access to more capital to take advantage of timely product opportunities, that's what gives you an edge. This is expressed in something called TVM, the time value of money. This formula takes into account OPM, other people's money, and compound returns. So those two immutable mathematical profit multipliers combine to create profit growth. This is not a Ponzi scheme. It's called compound interest. The two-part strategy is simple. If you have double or triple the capital, you should be able to double or triple the profit. And if you make no payments and you can reinvest all your monthly profits, guess what? You can earn compound returns. The result is exponential growth. So I recognize that some of you are probably thinking, give me an example, and let's keep it simple, right? Well, Einstein said it best when Einstein quoted, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. So as we move to the 4th principle, let's dive in. Okay. Principle number 4. You embrace that leverage when applied with OPM creates Einstein's rates of return. The most recent demonstration of Amazon sellers using an Einstein mindset in their business is a nod to AccrueMe. So let's use the AccrueMe investment structure to explain Einstein rates of return. AccrueMe's model is unique because we provide qualified Amazon sellers with growth capital without any monthly payments. I'll say that again. We provide qualified Amazon sellers with growth capital without any monthly payments. No interest rate or personal guarantees. All right. So what this means is that unlike entrepreneurs who receive funding from our competitors, our sellers can keep 100% of their capital and their profits invested in the business from month to month. Now, this is what enables our sellers to leverage the magic of compound interest and earn compound gains. If you are tracking at this point, seriously speaking, by the way, we can have some fun here, but if you're tracking, go ahead and say, okay. Give me an okay in the chat. If you're tracking, to understand how much more profitable a business can be if it compounds capital. You see, consider this mathematical example of how a partnership with AccrueMe would work. All right, let's take a screenshot from our AccrueMe calculator, and let's assume a seller, you, are making 20% return on investment with a 30-day inventory turnover time. Now, by the way, you can change the numbers to whatever you'd like. On $100,000 of invested capital, and that $100,000 gets matched by AccrueMe for another $100,000 to bring the total capital to $200,000. Now, a 20% ROI, return on investment, means 20% on 100,000 is 120,000 in revenue, 20,000 in profit, 100,000 in expenses. You've got cost of goods, COGS, right? Cost of goods sold, all those Amazon fees, right? Pay per click, whatever, whatever it is. So assume 240,000 in revenue, right? $40,000 in profit on 200. I mean, if you're doing 20% with 100,000, you do 20% with 200,000, it's $40,000, right? I told you the examples are going to get harder. So, you don't need a calculator yet. So after an AccrueMe investment of the 100,000, now you're up to 40,000, right? So 100 plus 100 equals 240. So let's assume that rather than reinvesting all of the profits back into the business, the seller decides that in order to pay their bills, kids' tuition, car payments, everybody's got bills and expenses, they would draw 15% per month. Now, if you take a look on the slide, it shows 15% lifestyle withdrawal. That's every month. And by the way, you can take out 20%, take out 30%, you can take out zero. You can put it all back into the business. It's totally your choice, right? But the calculator on AccrueMe's website allows you to change any of these numbers, your seller's capital, AccrueMe capital, your ROI, your lifestyle withdrawals, even your turnover time, because it's different every month, right? So if you wish to experiment with different numbers and see how your profiles would, and your profile and profits would change, you can go ahead and change that in the calculator, and you can play with that. You're invited to use the tool. So here's the cool part. Since AccrueMe doesn't require monthly payments or charge interest rates, we choose to get a temporary share of the net profits after cost of goods and all the Amazon fees, only when it makes sense for you to pay. So what you'll discover on the calculator is that using AccrueMe's growth capital will far outperform any other alternative or traditional funding solution. The simple reason is all other competitors drain cash, which violates Einstein's second principle. Remember, exponential returns. So, compounding gains happen when the increased money available to the seller generates even more money. And because the seller can keep and invest it instead of paying it immediately, to understand it, you got to consider the seller can keep some or even all of that 240,000 example I just used from month one in the business instead of making a monthly payment. It's totally your choice because AccrueMe doesn't require monthly payments. So this means that the second month with the same 20% ROI, you would see $48,000 profit on $240,000 in capital. And in 3 months, you get $57,600 in profit on $288,000 in capital, even accounting for the eventual profit share owed to AccrueMe. By month 6, the seller has leveraged compounding returns and increased scalability to bring their personal monthly profits from $20,000 a month to well over $50,000 a month. In 24 months of 20,000 profit increases with a profit share would mean an extra $250,000 after 2 years. Here's the best part. Due to compound gains and AccrueMe's diminishing profit share, the seller's business has actually earned an extra $7 million at the end of month 24. Now, that is what's called Einstein returns. By the way, AccrueMe's part is easy. We provide the growth capital. You've got the hard part. You got the hard part. You have to keep finding and selling products profitably on Amazon. So I see a lot of OKs. No interest. That's correct. There's no interest payment. All right. No monthly payment, no interest. And by the way, I'll take questions at the end. I'm sure a lot of you will have questions. So, and last but not least, adopting an Einstein mindset is mastering something called the fifth principle, right? So you agree with Einstein's formula for success. A equals X plus Y plus Z. And you may want to write that down. A equals X plus Y plus Z. If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is keeping your mouth shut. You like that? I thought you would. Sometimes it's best to trust the process. Admit you don't know what you don't know. And that's a big challenge. You see, the biggest challenge is accepting a new formula. And I'm curious, how would your life in Amazon business change if you had an Einstein mindset? What would mastering and implementing an Einstein mindset mean for you and your Amazon business? And my last question is, what would happen if you had unlimited access to AccrueMe's growth capital to leverage OPM and in turn compound your return on investment? I'm going to take a guess that it would exponentially change your destiny. You know, Einstein said, understanding compound gains puts you in a position to profit. We're looking for win-win partnerships with people who understand and appreciate the eighth wonder of the world. The ideal AccrueMe partner will understand and appreciate the value of compound gains because our ideal partner is a business-savvy, profit-driven Amazon seller who's receiving a strong ROI, has a healthy business, but is looking to take that business to the next level. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you got to keep on moving. And unlike our competition, we're not the solution for people that are only looking to keep their business afloat. We want people who have a stable business. They are looking to elevate into a large-scale business, and they want to generate life-changing revenue. So finally, we all have the ability to adopt an Einstein mindset. And we can all remember these words. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. I guess, Robbie, it's time for Q&A. And what better way to wrap up with one of my favorite Einstein quotes? And that is, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is to not stop questioning. And for those of you that were counting on an infomercial, here's the best that I got. We are offering a summit offer, free $500 once you become a client with AccrueMe. You just got to fill out the 3-minute instant funding. When we fund you, you get an extra $500 toward your inventory. It's yours to keep and grow your company with. This offer only applies to new customers. So
And today,
if you have
today
some
only.
questions, I'm sure some of you do.
Yes, and Mark, just real quick, that offer is today only. So you have to go sign up today. Yep.
Yes, I'm sorry. That offer is today only. Thank you for reminding me.
Yep,
in
absolutely.
the control room. Yeah. So,
yeah,
I'll turn my screen share on.
Yeah, perfect. That was great, Mark.
All
Great
right.
information. Love it. I love it. I've been waiting to see this one for quite a while. Great information about Einstein and different theories, and lots of interactives. Next time we'll try to have a poll available with you so they can click on the poll for the different options, A and B. I love the options they had.
Right.
Let's see. There's a few people asking some questions. We'll try to answer these. And again, don't worry, everybody. We added in extra time for the summit to be able to handle issues like we had. So we'll definitely. Does AccrueMe funding available to Canada?
Currently, right now, we are. If the Canadians are selling in the U.S. marketplace, the answer is yes. So if you're a Canadian that are, and you let me know, Robbie, if you've heard something different. But my understanding is we do have some Canadian clients, Canadian students that are selling. They live in Canada, obviously, and they are selling in the U.S. on Amazon U.S. and we have them as clients. I'm not sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we are set up to do business in Canada yet, specifically for Canadian Amazon.
Almost, not yet. So yeah, Mark's 100% correct. If you are anywhere outside the United States, as long as you are selling on the U.S. marketplace, Amazon U.S. marketplace, we do also ask that you have an LLC, a U.S. LLC, and a U.S. tax ID number. So as long as you're doing that, you can definitely apply to AccrueMe. And Mark, like Mark said, it's only 3 minutes to fill out the form, and you'll get an instant estimate right there on the spot. So yeah, a few more people are asking questions, and I'm happy to help Mark with some of these. Again, I'm Rob Stanley, Chief Marketing Officer, so I have answers to almost all of these.
Right.
So let's see. A couple of more people are asking.
So let's
go ahead, Mark.
Can we have an infusion of capital from another source in addition to AccrueMe? How does that work? Great question, Jawad. If you're doing business, I don't like to speak about competition because frankly, we don't have a lot of competitors, but there's a lot of third-party funding people that have sprouted up over the last several years, and not to mention any names, but Payability, Sellers Funding, Amazon Funding, people like that. And if you do have a loan outstanding with one of them, you would need to take care of that prior to taking our infusion. You're not going to be you're using our money to grow and scale your business, not to make payroll, not to pay your old debts off and stuff like that. We're growth capital. We're not a lender, FYI, not a lender. This is not a loan. This is not this is not debt or anything like that. We're the only people on planet Earth that I know that does this. So very important. A lot of people like to compare us and say, what's your interest rate? There is no interest rate. There's no interest rate. It's not a loan. What's your monthly payment? There are no monthly payments. I don't know how many different languages I can to say that, but I'll work on it. I'm limited.
Yeah. Amanda was asking about being incorporated. Amanda, if you're willing to become an LLC, get a hold of us. At this time, due to legal issues, we cannot fund companies that are incorporated.
Yeah, we can help you with that, and we've got a complete team and legal team to take care of that for you. Are you feeding me questions, or am I looking? That's what I can look at you if you're going to feed me questions.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to wrap it up here in just a couple more minutes. The other room is waiting. But like I said, we did buffer a little time here. Let me just go through these. How long would you have to have been selling already to qualify for AccrueMe? There you go, Mark.
6 months. So as long as you've been actively, profitably selling on Amazon, the Amazon platform for 6 months, you're good to go. If you're, let's say, 3 or 4 months and you know that you want to get jump started at that 6 month, I would suggest filling out. There's no upfront cost. There's no cost to you. Get set up, get ready to go, so that when you hit that anniversary, that 6 month anniversary. And the reason for that, Robbie, is we want to deal with people that have a proven track record, right? And so we've had to set that up in our own internal underwriting, if you will. So a big question people didn't ask is, how much money right now are we looking to deploy in Amazon? $100 million. So, and there's more where that came from. So this is a $1 billion business. You want to get in, now's the time. I'll also drop my email. Maximus, you can drop my email in the chat if you would. Mark, M-A-R-K, @AccrueMe.com. If you want to send me a message right now, we're in a virtual environment. Couple more questions, Robbie.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I dropped your email into there. There was another person asking about, do you require only profit sharing or equity share of the business as well? I'm not sure. Maybe they just don't understand the type of business we are.
Yeah. So really great question. I don't know who asked that. Great question. This is the exciting part. We take no equity position in your company, right? You maintain 100% control and ownership of your company. You do what you do best, which is sell on Amazon. Let us do what we do best: provide growth capital so you can scale and go to the moon. So, we don't take equity. There's no debt, none of this crazy stuff. Like I said, what we're doing is so unique. We have a patent pending on this. This is like, there's nobody that does what we do. So it's nonsense. Absolutely.
And so Rachel was asking, will it be a 50-50 profit sharing? And that we're going to make that the last question.
Great question. You would assume that if you put up $100,000 and I put up $100,000, that after we, net out cost of goods and all the expenses and pay-per-click and whatever, blah, 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 that we would split the profit 50-50. The answer is no. It's better than that. You would keep, in that example, 75% of the net, okay? And we would get 25% when you decide to pay it down. The beautiful thing about this program is that it gives the seller complete control and flexibility of how to grow and scale their business. So the reason why all those other merchant cash advances and short-term loans are a bunch of BS, in my opinion, is because they're draining your daily cash flow. And so you have these huge payments and you can't keep your business going. So you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So the answer is no, it's not a 50-50 split. The most it'll ever be is 25%. And it goes down. That's when I said diminishing. It actually goes down the longer you're with us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so everybody, we're going to get ready to jump over to the other room. And I know there's lots of questions there. The easiest way to do this or handle this is go to the AccrueMe website, fill out the 3-minute form. We'll contact you. If you have more questions on top of that, definitely we'll be able to answer those. And again, Mark at AccrueMe.com, or you can hit me up directly, Rob, R-O-B, at AccrueMe.com. It's super simple. Mark and I'll answer any questions you have. And if we don't have the answer, we'll get it for you. So we're going to head on the other room. Make sure
Rob,
you guys
I got an important request. Where do I get one of those T-shirts? Those AccrueMe T-shirts.
That's a one-of-one T-shirt, by the way. That's a one-of-one. I being chief marketing officer.
You're styling.
Right?
Hey, everybody. Adios.
See everybody in the next room. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.